the answers are inside. Yeah, I am the 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see you when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, yeah, we are one. Here now, hear my ancient prayer and sing along. We are awakening as one. And we can make a difference. Yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world.
But it looks like you guys are having creative, juicy fun wherever you are. Are you in Rotterdam?
Yeah, we're in Rotterdam at Synergy Hub 1.0.
Nice. Is this...
No, it's insane what's about to happen here. Like, we've got a bunch of stuff to share with you that's really actually, my goal is to actually in 1 minute share it. So like to see if I can actually do it in 1 minute because it's so epic.
Why don't you do that? And I can give you a 1 minute like capsule of what I'm thinking too. So go ahead. I'd love to hear yours.
So we're putting on an event. This is all relative in the sense that the way I'm describing it may not be 100% the way it happens, but like it is happening in general what I'm talking about. So the month of October, United Earth will be sponsoring, catalyzing, inviting, occupying the noosphere for the month. So this could include social media, virtual media, Google Docs, Facebook, as well as personal locations and things like that. What we're going to do is host a month-long event here at Synergy Hub 1.0. Called the Trimtab Festival. Trimtab is after Bucky Fuller. And that's going to go on for like a week or two. And then the other half of the month is going to be a whole systems hackathon. What we're going to do is invite about 100 people here personally to be part of like a co-creation, the festival part and the hackathon.
Wow.
And we don't want to be the origin point of the whole planetary thing because we can't handle that many people. That's why it's like this decentralized, occupy the noosphere thing. So we'll provide people ways to participate if they're into that and co-creating and joining. Like everything will be live streamed and video and all that.
Right.
But as far as like we'll give templates about like synergistic co-creation, like maybe people can try using holons, like even in a document rather than Noomap, you know? Like just give people templates, like if you want to do that. But of course it's up for you. Like, what you could all resonate with is kind of occupying the noosphere and innovation and a new paradigm, like something like that is the call to like make it your own thing. And this is just one event. It's not like the center point of everything because we can't handle that at the moment. So this event though, which is amazing, is going to be comprised of several announcements and projects that will be part of the co-creative thing in the hackathon. So we're not coming empty-handed. And like there's some membrane, it's like these are some of our dreams here and we know so many people share them. It's not really exclusivity or you can't do it, but you can only do so much with it. And you have to have some seed ideas to at least work with. Not everyone just comes and then just shares their own project and then it's just chaos. Like there's plenty of time as a planetary community to do that going forward. And so we're going to do a book launch of a book that I'm part of called Reimagining Philanthropy. So that's the like way of bringing new paradigm economics into the conversation. And we're part of a real book that can be sold and workshops and things like that. So we're launching Reimagining Philanthropy, which I'm part of with an amazing group of like 10 to 12 people, which is a whole story. And that program was started by, that program, it's called the KINS, capital K, capital I, capital N. It's called the KINS method. And it was started by a woman over 40 years ago named Susan Davis out of Chicago. And it's been a grassroots mastermind, co-creative sort of model that she's under the radar, like perfected and done amazing things with. And we were part of a group last year. And when we came together, it came to, usually you bring your own project and you learn how to do this KINS model with a group of people. And then you go off and create your own KINS of like 20 or 30 to manifest something. But when we sat around as a group of these 10 or 12 people, we realized we had like a meta mission that we were all interested in reimagining philanthropy. So as a group, we ended up working together rather than saying, well, we all went off and worked on our own projects with the KIN's, ethos in our minds to learn that, but we also came into this group of reimagining philanthropy.
Right.
We're doing that. We're also going to unveil the open synergy source license for Noomap and calling the world to help us co-create Noomap itself. And explaining how we don't believe in free open source, we believe in an open synergy source where we share the wealth and we share the code as a group. So it's almost open source, but only if you're resident with kind of synergy and the values a lot of us share. So there's a little bit of remembering compared to a free open source. We're going to be announcing Synergy Hub Network, like the whole thing. That's like your virtual Earth village, really. That we have this vision of this planetary, network of synergy hubs, and they can be farms, they can be buildings, et cetera, et cetera. And basically coming out with Synergy Hub 1.0 is like announcing what we're doing here with this event. Like we already have a building, and that we also need some help support funding it, like so we can keep it, and it can be a beacon for everything that's going to come forward. We're also going to announce a Global Freedom Fest in 2018 or 2019. I'm working with a couple people, like bigger than Woodstock thing. So we're going to announce that going forward. And also the Y Unity. We work with a bunch of young people here who do a platform for unconditional sharing. So bringing that unconditional sharing, resource-based economy, spiritual philanthropy kind of thing into the real mainstream, but through their platform, because they're like young, they use more universal language, just like unconditional sharing and spiritual philanthropy. Like I can talk about that in my part about the reimagining philanthropy, but they have a platform they're already building, that Noomap would be perfect for, and they're really awesome people, and they're part of our core fractal here. So it's like announcing, and there could be a couple other things, it's like, what is the whole system? Is it a trimtab festival and then a hackathon? How can we weave that all together? And then I assume the next 2 years will be leading up to this festival and working together. Can we get 100 million people, like liquid democracy style, to actually co-create the festival? But again, sharing the learning. So there's a holon of the original visionaries of the festival, and they actually do get to make decisions. It's not like this open forum where anything goes, because they created it. It's their dream, someone held the space for that and is going to be working on that full time. So it's really this co-creation emergence balance between everything is open, like this green meme in the spiral dynamics where we're all equal and everyone has to be heard. We're trying to transcend that into the higher levels where everyone is perfect and gifted, and how do we co-create rather than, control each other. And it's okay if someone else makes decisions about certain things, if that's their gift and their experience. So, so that obviously all that in enough is pretty freaking awesome. And of course you have the presidential election, the first week of November. So I'm personally hoping this provides a serious alternative. So really it's mostly marketing and communication and tying us together from that perspective, because the event here is easily done for us. We've got a huge building and big kitchens, and it's 100 people. We did one last December with 30 people. And so 100 people that are coming knowing that they're sleeping in rooms that aren't 4-star hotels and that we're all chipping in. That's really kind of easy. It's really broadcasting that and starting in a couple of weeks, actually putting out the message. Let's occupy the noosphere in October. And then people will self-organize around the planet. There's no end of Zuccotti Park and around the world. But I want to share, this is not about any type of resistance, violence or revolution, evolution. It's conscious evolution. And if you want to go out and celebrate, it's all about, celebrating and connecting with people, go out and do that. But go find couch surfing and Airbnb and public parks that are actually allowed. Let's just skip the whole conflict thing and just be who we are. So I think that's going to be a big thing. And I think, I'm talking to the concert people later. They said yes, but I just want to double check, because once we go live with this, this week, this is it, we're doing it. And then we're going to announce it in October, and we can drop messages from now till October, marketing wise, just little hints, maybe just images of a Global Freedom Fest, going around the internet before we actually say much more about it. Stuff like that. So that's what's going on here. It's pretty awesome.
I'm getting chills as you're talking, and you guys are such a brilliant gathering of minds. This is a wave. It is a wave of consciousness, and you guys are standing there holding the field for that. And I'm just very grateful. I think every time I read about and look at and tune into what you guys are doing and the gathering of minds and hearts that you have there, I just go, yes, it needs to be broadcast. I mean, you know, people are listening to the things that I put out, and I hear over and over, please keep doing what you're doing. I get written to from South Africa, your stuff is the best stuff on the internet, you know, and I mean, I'm just doing these simple, you know, hey, let's get in touch with what's going on things. So, I mean, but what you guys are doing, and it's interesting because you talk about the younger people too, and you're younger than me, kind of like, I just see these waves of consciousness that are coming in that aren't even bought into the old paradigm, that are saying, okay, we're ready to ground here what humanity is really about, what we're capable of producing and being. And I just applaud each one of you for just stepping in and being there, because I know it's not always easy. I mean, we all have
There's a lot of millennials here, by the way, in the Y Unity, which is why it's important. They're like 23, 26, and they are on. And like, we were missing it. I mean, Chris is young, but he's 30, so.
Right. Those are who I run into wherever I go. I mean, they show up at my stuff. Some of them are even crying. They're like, where is the door out of this place? This is not what we came in for, you know, the old system. So I think I was getting glimpses of, you know.
Would you be interested in coming in October if we get you out here? I mean, I would like you to be here if you want to be here.
God, I'd love to be there.
Well, then just put it on the list. I mean, we'll just get, I believe we will have funding for the event. We're going under the impression we don't have it now, but like once we get this message out,
right,
like next week or whatever, I believe we should have a few, like I've got other things being lined up for Noomap, like people that want to get like a prototype version. And if I can get like 100,000 here and 100,000 there, and we do build the thing over the next year because we announce it and we get more people and we have some money to buy this place, and then people can just come here and have their food and entertainment all set up, be part of the team, like on different levels. So I think we'll have at least a few 100,000 to fly some people out and like make it a little bit more comfortable and like make sure the live streaming works to the ultimate, like, you know, whatever, if we need to help people get here with their equipment.
Is that basically the whole month of October?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to go for it.
I was thinking about doing a dolphin camp in Costa Rica during that time, but I'll just plan that at a different time. I'll push my Central South American stuff after, because I could be.
I would love to go with you after that. I would love to go with you, by the way. If you can hook me up, like I want to see the dolphins. That's a big thing we haven't even talked about yet. That's like one of my life dreams.
So we'll look at that more as November. I'm doing Costa Rica and Peru. I've got people who want to go on trips with me all the time. So,
because we're going to need a break after that as well. So.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. And what I mean, I keep getting these glimpses. I don't know if I can even really verbalize it right now, but the whole time you were talking, you know, and talk about getting funding. I mean, when you create a festival, a lot of funding can come in from that. But what if there's a festival that's ongoing, that people are participating in virtually, and it's this festival of this holonomic, fractal, synergistic way of being and working together and cultivating what we do. So I keep getting.
It is continuous. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to add that in because one, I would say it certainly is continuous, and I'm going to add that into my description. The one point is like we would love to get this building. Like we are out of this building end of December if we don't fund it, which I don't think is going to be an issue, especially if we say
I don't
one of the reasons. One of the reasons we want, like, this can be, like, again, to help hold down the energy of this continuous festival. And then other buildings, like, we actually have 2 other buildings here. Like, it's just insanity.
I have had the idea, because I think these things we're talking about will attract such large groups of people that, I mean, my thought with Virtual Earth Village has been, if you have 1 million people and everybody is donating $1 a month in their currency, or then you have 100 million people, and then you have funds that you can do anything that you need to with, and you can fund other projects, you can keep your hub going. And I can see that being just a model that can work, and people could have a choice whether they donate $1 a month or $10 a month or whatever. But if you had 1 million people donating $1 a month, you've got kind of an operational budget that you can function on.
Yeah.
And I think people are willing to give that. I mean, it's not a lot, it's very minimal. And those who can't, well, that's all right. And some will give more. And so that's a thought I've had. And so let me just toss this out at you. So my thought is, in my little capsule nutshell, it's going to be shorter than yours. You're so verbal. I love it. I mean, this stuff just streams forth from you, and you're such a great spokesperson for all of this. It's just, I really love it. It's very important. So my thought is Virtual Earth Village. I have one guy who is working on, potentially there will be some funding that comes in through him. We will see. I have feelers out several different places, because I feel like to get Virtual Earth Village really built, we do need some funds to come in and just nourish the lives of the people that are helping do it. And so I'm wondering, my real feeling is, I feel like for 20 years, I've been waiting. I've developed Virtual Earth Village in WordPress, in Joomla. It's kind of gone up in different ways and come back down. And I just feel like its time has really come, like it's really here now. And who I've matured into in this global emerging culture, what I get, what I perceive, what I know needs to be done, the way I'm connected with all these groups all over the world, and I can see how people are moving together energetically. And I believe that, I recently dropped out of, not permanently or forever, but one of the global humanitarian funding organizations, because there was just too much chaos and dissonance in it. And I dropped out with the conversations you and I have had lately of saying, look, we are a focal point of the lens of source, which is ever flowing abundantly. And we are the currency. We are the currency of abundance. We are the currency of everything that's possible on this planet. And when we have ourselves stepped away from it 10 times, which, it's digital currency, which represents something else that's digital, which represents energy, we're separating ourselves from what is capable of flowing directly through us. And one of the reasons I left that organization was I feel there is a puzzle we must be solving together right now, that this change, abundance can return to humanity. This change can happen on the planet through us, and through us joining together, through us bringing together, I'm going to cry, our intelligence, our creativity, and all of these things. Sorry, my normal here. But I just know we're at this like crisis point. The governmental systems, the economic systems they're worn out. They're serving only the few and not the many. And what is being given birth to by you guys and people like me is this knowing that we are an abundant race of beings. We are creator beings. Like, let's do that instead of this. I'm going to go give away my life for 40 hours a week to be a rat on a wheel so that I can, so many of us can't do that anymore. And yet we're kind of in this gap of how do we quote unquote monetize what we're doing? And maybe let's take away that word and call it, how do we do what we're doing with abundance and with all of our needs met? Abundance, plenty for all, of peace and abundance for all is what I regularly.
Monetizing your passion. That was big with the secret crowd and all the self-help people.
Right, but it's beyond monetizing.
I think most of them did it out of a decent perspective, but I also call that the midnight vulture. It's like, it's like the end of times, crisis point. Like, we need to change on a significant level, or we don't need to. A lot of us want to.
Right.
And it's like, here's people coming along saying, monetize your passion. Like, conscious capitalism is going to work.
Right.
Sorry, that doesn't work for me. I'm glad other people.
It doesn't work for me either. It's a distraction from the truth of what we're really.
The red herring.
Huh?
Yeah, the red herring. Yeah, absolutely.
It's the red herring. It is, and this is talked about in the scrolls that I was led to in Peru, which are amazing. They're a galactic download, gigantic amounts of information, and they say the materialistic civilization will integrate. It is not capable of continuing. It is not built in love. And all that is capable of continuing is that which is built in the truth of our being in love. So I think this is a really powerful, critical, embodiment of this emerging new paradigm. So,
I mean, for me, we are doing virtual Earth Village. So like, you should just take a deep breath and relax, and you'll like, we're going to do most of it for you, where you can just be like a steward of it. You don't have to worry about the details so much, or the technology. That's just my opinion. I mean,
I agree.
Because I see what you're doing. Like, I feel confident we will help you.
I can see that. I can see that that's what you're doing. And so I don't want to say, oh, it only has to be virtual Earth Village, because I can see the merging together of our ideas. I would love to have a doorway that is called virtual Earth Village, because it's sort of like this visionary dream that's been given to me for so long.
You have to, but we'll build the infrastructure like for it. Like, that's what we're here. We're your tech team and your infrastructure team and your marketing team and your other team and this team and that team. But so you can just live the dream that you had, like, in the first place.
Well, the one thing I know, and I know it about Virtual Earth Village, and I believe, like, just this whole thing of us coming together in this, but I know that I can just feel this time, this emerging, coming together. I can feel it is time, and I can feel it is the place, and I can feel it is the resources and the tools and the ideas. And, my whole, as you talk about the silo concept, I just could never quite grasp how everything I saw doing with Virtual Earth Village could be done in the old, I call it sort of a flat system. You guys call it the silo system because you understand the technology better. But to me, it was just flat. And I'm like, it just isn't bringing me what I need to do to develop this. And so I'm like so stoked. And I also feel like two things that can happen with Virtual Earth Village as that formulates and takes place. One is a focalizing around the planet that I believe will ignite such a grassroots movement that within a year we will see a completely changed planet, because people will be able to say, oh, look what so-and-so is doing over there. I can do this here in my neighborhood. And people will be able to get together in conversations, and like we do in the Skype rooms or on Zoom, and kind of troubleshoot how they're doing things in different parts of the world. And the one thing I've learned being in these humanitarian organizations is how different cultures are. There's huge differences. I mean, we as Americans have this sort of, homogenous, we have education, we have vision, we grew up learning that we have freedom, and a lot of people don't even have that. And so being able to interface with all different cultures and languages and needs, that are, I really believe in helping ignite, how do you change the fabric of just a local community? How do you get people growing food locally, saving seeds, exchanging seeds, communicating with each other, educating each other, and that simple stuff. But I think that then comes up to, a result of massive global change. So, and then of course, beyond that are all the brilliant ideas and the people that have, the ability to move in and make change as well. So yeah, cool. It sounds like we're on the same page. I would love to be there in October. I just see this as, so the second thing about Virtual Earth Village, besides the fact that it has the ability to ignite global change at a more accelerated pace, which I think everything you're doing will as well. And let's call it one sort of united movement of energy. I also believe while we're still we're trying to figure out how to bridge out of this material system that people donating $1 a month to our various enterprises, I think could really support the whole thing, because as soon as you start getting millions of people involved, Google makes it over $1 billion a month, probably $2 billion a month at this point. Facebook the same. And there's 1.5 billion people on Facebook right now, or I don't know, 1.3 or something like that. So I think the hunger within people's minds and hearts to be connected, to feel connected to a greater vision that helps them activate good things in their lives is huge. And I think I see it just with the shows that I do where I've got a few 100,000 viewer minutes a month, that people are just like so excited. They're hungry. They want to know how to do, what to do, simple stuff. And people want to take action. They want to start living differently. So I think this is really capable. I think we're all here to help be activators of this. And it takes a village.
Yeah. I've got a couple more for you, actually, I realized. So one of the major themes of the event will be women and our sisters and mothers. So not really women, sisters and mothers, I think, probably, literally, so it doesn't have to get into gender as much, but at least a big focus on that. And maybe, I know Noomap originally in our architecture had a wisdom council kind of thing, and I'm thinking like maybe bringing that back with only women. And I don't care if people say that's exclusionary or it's not balanced. That's not the point.
The other thing is indigenous. We don't even call them indigenous anymore. We call them original people. But
Yeah.
We've
got a lot of connections to what are called indigenous. Of course, it always comes down to everyone saying, "Well, we're all indigenous," and we all recognize that.
We are, yes.
Like we have that in our the United Earth Wheel of Co-Creation as a specific one of the sectors. I'm personally okay with. it's collective wisdom here. Like I think. I sometimes have resistance because the indigenous folks can't get along with themselves, and I keep hearing like the indigenous way is I feel all people and all races and cultures have wisdom. So I feel a little bit of separation in this idea that indigenous wisdom is somehow the original or somehow better, because like I look at the in America, and it's like they don't even pull together, and just like the rest of us. So I'm not pointing them out either. But so I personally, I want to explore that a little bit more, or just uplift that into indigenous wisdom, meaning like timeless wisdom, and that everyone has access to it or something.
I think that's really good. I have a global council that I put together that's kind of a reorganization of the United Nations. And I don't know, I did it for some other organizations I was part of, but that might be a little much for this. I love the way this is so organic, and I love the people that are coming together. And I think that's one thing that the younger generations know too, is like when I go out and teach 21st century superhuman principles, the older people are all kind of sitting there in the audience, like most of them, well, I think I'll go home tomorrow and do what I did yesterday. And the younger ones are going, I get it. And they get it in like 5 minutes. You don't have to convince them that this is a quantum reality, that our thoughts create, that we are emerging, creation out of everything that is inside of us. And, they get it. They get it like that. And I think what you guys are doing and what I'm doing and what this process of this movement is about is really, how do we actualize within the holographic reality in a way? What are some practical tools, resources, steps to actualize at a greater level? I think that's what's so important, and I think it's a really important key that I think people are hungry for.
That's why for me, this word syntony and the definition I came across, last year when we met Barbara, is actually become part of my meta programming. It's a paragraph definition, but the last sentence is the mystical state becomes grounded and manifested in spirit motivated social action.
I love it. That is so good.
What else is there besides, for me, like spirit motivated? It's not even saying spiritual. It just says spirit motivated, like soul motivated, passion motivated, social action. So it's not saying sit around and dream something. It's spirit motivated social action. Like that's good enough for me. Like that's actually good enough for me. That's my platform.
Rock on, brother.
You know, that's it. And then the other fun thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a magic show at the 2018 festival with like David Blaine and David Copperfield and all that. And the crowd is going to decide leading up to the festival what we're going to make disappear. What is the one trim tab innovation, whether it's war or poverty or money, whatever the crowd decides, like a week before the show that we're going to decide, maybe even an hour before the performance. I'm not really sure. And then we're going to make it disappear.
Rock on. I love it.
We got to have fun. I mean, the 2018 thing is all about celebration. The guy I met who's holding the vision was amazing, like open, co-creative. Like he had some things like donate to charity in his document. I was like, can this be philanthropic?
I think we should make a few things disappear. Borders of countries, war, weapons.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. Like, if other people want to join the magic show and, like, you know, get the vote, like, because there's going to be like the top 10 things we could say. I'm just being a little less ambitious, I guess, and saying one thing. But if there's more people that can join my magic show, then potentially we could make a lot of things disappear.
That'd be great. I might join you.
Yeah, or at least we'll put them up our sleeve and we won't take them out again.
Nice.
I don't know, but it's going down.
Good. Well, I think this movement that you guys are about and doing is really huge. I think it's critical. I'm grateful to know you. I mean, I feel like you're really an amazing voice for this process. So please continue.
Yeah, we're having a great time here. I'm getting out of my dream is to make movies and music, really, like to be an artist. It's funny, like people always say to me, why I'm angry. Like a lot of my work is anger, like frustration, like in meetings and just in general, like a lot of anger. And you can look at it like a lot of ways, like the background I've had in being put in mental health and medicated and this, that, and the other. But I said to my wife the other day, honestly, you know what most frustrates me? I want to be a fucking rock and roller and make movies like Steven Spielberg. And I never can do it. And I couldn't get the people to help me. And I wasn't in position to do it. That's what actually is the actual core wound frustration. Like I'm not being the thing I imagine myself to be, which I am now. Like I played music a tiny bit in front of people. Like I'm getting over that. And I've got a lot to learn because I never practiced enough, but that's actually what is freeing me to be the voice because I'm actually following what I like to do.
And you know, movies are going to change the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, they're one of the ways, the really easy ways to change it in a big way.
Like people in our network who can find the funding through integrity and good ways could all pitch in like 50,000 or 100,000 to like the Noomap part. I mean, like it's like earmarked for Noomap because that's the one thing we can all use.
Right.
And if we all co-create it, it connects us. And then we may not use like everyone's money like on a coder. It might be some of it to put the event on or to fly me to go meet someone that I need to meet. So it's not like, oh, we're going to put the whole 100,000 and it's going to hire 10 coders and it's in the business plan. Like, but in order to deliver Noomap the way it's supposed to be delivered, it will be used in the way that's most appropriate, you know, like, and that's how it works. And like the whole different communities can chip in. Like you've got like the virtual Earth Village instance of Noomap, you know, and my friend Amelia has a project and she's got like 250,000 coming in potentially. And she needs something like Noomap. So like, and it could be 2,000. I mean, our original activation plan was finding 30 projects or communities to be part of the pioneering group who share the co-development and co-incubation. And some of them could put in $10 and somebody could put in 10 million. And then somebody could put in other skills and gifts, of course. But what we found was everyone we were running into, no one had any money, and we were struggling to get coders in without paying them, or at least putting them up and all that. So like we run into that phase.
Again,
but now we have.
Yeah, go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I'm just saying now we have this building. If we could keep it, but we can still do it. But that's where the money thing came in. And it's like, so it doesn't happen. Everybody puts 100,000 in, but if we find 30 people who are in the frequency and turning the abundance thing around, it's like, you know, in our minds, we think, oh, I finally got 100,000. I better put it towards my own idea. I better manifest like what I've been thinking about. But really, maybe putting it into a unified pot is more unified thing is actually what needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm getting
and that will catalyze someone else coming along and saying, oh, I've got 10 million. I've got 100. Like that's what you want to show. The generosity between us will also catalyze more generosity. And then it won't matter that then we can give some back to you guys, like to people that, because it flows back like the tourist thing, you know?
So Bret, a couple of thoughts on that. And that's what I say over and over. We're all better together. And because of this, people having stepped out of the matrix and quote unquote not having any money, we're all kind of isolated in these little places, you know, just trying to keep survival going. And yet we're all better together. If we bring resources together, ideas and funds, we've got the capability of creating more. So
And at least like 30 of us. I'm not asking for 1 million right now. I'm talking about like 20 to 50 of us who represent complete networks. Like, so that's the trim tab. It doesn't have to be 1 million people now who all say yes, but can we find like 20, 30, 70 people that can bring in 100,000 each or 20,000 and like just get going?
So
I mean, it's, to me,
one of the things that I'm doing right now is on my 21st Century Superhuman website, I'm putting in all of my Global Leadership for Change projects. Global Leadership for Change is the organization I founded to do humanitarian projects. And one of the segments of it is media and web hub. I would like to put Noomap and this developing this system and the Synergy Hub on as one of the top, like Virtual Earth Village was going to be there, but it'd be great to put Noomap and the Synergy Hub there. And me a little write-up and a few pictures and help me, just give me some content. I'll put it right up there. And as I said, I'm getting a lot of viewers on my website, and it's because of the shows that I'm doing. And I also know one of the notices I'm going to put up there is, okay, you've made your millions or your billions. Are you ready to give back to society? And these are some ways you can serve and offer people that opportunity. Because one of the things I'm hearing in a lot of circles is there are those who have made their billions, and some of them are going, hey, I know the system is kind of defunct and it's not going to last that long. Let's put some of what I've made back into some things that are good. So what I'm doing right now is working on just getting a face out on our website that says, here's Global Leadership for Change. And I've already had people comment how cool they think it is, you know, and so if I can outline this, maybe send me a few pictures and one of your beautiful descriptions of your flowing cognitive thought, that would be really cool. And I'll put that up right at the top with Virtual Earth Village. And then
I'll work on it this week. I mean, I've got some stuff I might already have. We've got a bunch of Facebook Live videos I put together. So when we can cut these videos all into little 2-minute segments and things, it'll be powerful.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So maybe I'll look through your Facebook and I'll just try and take something that's already there. I don't want you to have to do a bunch of extra work, or point me in a direction.
We're having an event here on Friday night where we should get a lot of good footage. So maybe by early next week, I could get you like a 6-minute video that's comprised of like 10 or 15 of us talking about what's going on here. So it's not just my perspective.
Perfect.
I think I would say let's be patient, because when it comes, it'll be just what we need.
Awesome. And I think that's one of the things. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I would just offer the idea of being in service and giving back to humanity now. I like to use, I'm still going to really need to test it on a large scale, but for me, I'm offering people who have been fortunate with money to look at return on intention and return on imagination now. Rather than being in service or like humanity needs the money, it's like, it's still their money in that system. And that's beautiful that they were able to attract that. Good for them. Like, that's amazing. Good. That's wonderful. But now there's this ability to actually have a return on your intention and imagination. So I would go to them and say, okay, you're happy, you're comfortable. Like you're saying, you've got this millions or billions in the bank and you kind of want to do something with it. Like, what do you want to see in the world? Like, what is your vision? A world without poverty, a world with like healthy food, a world without child slavery? I don't know. You know, and what intentions do you have? Like, do you want to be part of something because you like to do, you know, math? So you want to start a education center for ending poverty. And it's like, this is what this network of people can do to provide you a return on intention and a return on imagination. Like, we will use your funding and flow it within the network to create centers for education. And this is how it will end poverty, by getting the word out and building aquaponic centers. You know, it's just a story, and I don't mean that as in like throwing it away. It's a story that we can tell.
That is beautiful.
And then, like,
I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, and for some of them, I don't also think if one of them said, look, I have $100 million and I want to also have a special building and it looks like this, like, that's cool. It doesn't always have to be like, it has to be unconditionally gifted, but that doesn't mean they don't have like influence or like they're amazing dude from the Y Unity gift sharing platform. This is my friend Cary, amazing woman.
Cary, hi.
Hold on. Hey, I was just taking notes. Sorry. Hey, how's it going? What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Doug.
Hey, Doug. So nice to meet you.
Yeah. Where are you?
I am in Florida. I'm in the density. I'm in the belly of the beast. But it's pretty.
Great.
Oh.
Wow. Hey, that's not too bad.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
at least on the outside, anyway.
I wrote a book called 21st Century Superhuman, so I'm kind of a traveling author. And I have almost no possessions. I own like a 94 Toyota Previa van, which is, I call it my alternative house. But then I stay with friends, and I have about enough possessions to fill up about a quarter of the floor, one level in that van. And so almost, you know, I've minimized down to almost nothing. I'm kind of like a being flowing throughout the planet. I guess my computer is my most powerful tool. And I produce online shows, and Bret's done some shows with me. And
fantastic.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, sorry?
How about you?
What about me? How many possessions do I have? I have more than you, but they're scattered across the face of the earth. I'm working with this Unity group for about 9 months now, sort of project management, community management, logistics management, this kind of thing. I do a lot of facilitation, and I really like it. And that's why I'm here, like, as a sort of, what did you call it? Trail finder for Unity, just checking this place out, you know, seeing that it meets the needs of certain people. Some people, you know, everyone's different. They need different things. Some people need quiet. Some people need like communities or whatever. So yeah, I'm here just interfacing with these wonderful people. It's been a great time to get to know them a bit better. So I'm really grateful for that.
What country are you from in the world where countries will not exist pretty soon?
So I was born and brought up in Scotland. My parents are from England, so I have kind of British-ish accent.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you.
I was actually just here to remind you guys that it's going to be 2 minutes until food is served.
Okay.
And I'm not going to save any for you.
Okay.
I'm just going to eat it all.
Okay.
If you're not there. Maybe I'll. If I'm really generous, then I'll save you some.
Thank you. Are you guys in the garden?
Garden kitchen, yeah. Cool. Hey, pleasure to meet you again.
You too.
And you guys.
Many blessings.
You should do with him and Philip from this Y Unity unconditional sharing platform. We should set that up while they're here.
I love that.
We'll broadcast live during Whoop Days, actually, maybe.
We'll do that.
Yeah, they're having a big event here for 3 weeks in July. It's
I
like
really
a
like it. Brett, your ideas on unconditional sharing are brilliant, and I think that needs to be voiced. I'd like it to be voiced at Global Leadership for Change in a way, as one doorway that can maybe access some people who would like to participate.
Well, you got the video, man. Are you able to edit? Do you know how to edit? I mean, cut this piece out of the video.
Yeah.
Out of this.
Absolutely. I can do that.
You can use whatever you want. I would just say go for that.
Brilliant.
If you felt moved.
Okay.
I only, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the flow of money. If you look at Gene Keys, what we're big fans of, the flow of money is the most important thing, not money itself. If it keeps moving and nourishing everyone, it keeps flowing. I actually don't potentially think we need to be moneyless. Everything has to be so absolute. I mean, someday we'll be moneyless just because technology is so advanced.
Right.
But the moneyless thing now is about the attitude, and the psychology behind investing in money. So that's where the shift seems to be the most important right now.
Well, it's also a shift from materialism to serving the greater good. I mean, you can't take it with you.
No, it's pretty simple. Yeah.
It's pretty simple. All right. Well, much love, my brother. Many blessings. hello
Thank
to
you.
everyone there. And until we meet again.
Yes, I love you, man. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Adios.